Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome to CCxRC. In this video, we're going to be taking a look at this 1970s Datsun 620 RC car by Team Associated. This is running on their Apex2 platform, and it looks absolutely stunning, guys. Super cool looking truck on road, and it comes with some options. So I made mine look like this out of the box. It looks a little bit different, and then you have a few options on how you want to stylize it. But I couldn't help but run it with the blacked out fenders and a couple of marks on the hood here and on the side. So we chose to do ours up a little bit, and you can choose how you want to set yours up when you get it. But pretty cool looking brushed car, ready to run. And we'll be doing a run video at the end of this, guys, so you can check it out running. But let's go ahead and get this thing unboxed and show you guys what comes in the package. Let's do it. Alrighty, guys, here it is, the Apex2 Sport Datsun 620, ready to run. It says it's an on-road vehicle, pre-painted. Taking a look around the box here. We like to do that before we fully open it. You see what you're going to be dealing with here. It has injection molded brake calipers and rotors behind the wheels and tires, just make it look more realistic as it's driving. All right, so if you guys want to, go ahead and pause this. You see scale 1/10. The overall length is 458 millimeters. The wheelbase is 259 millimeters. Tells you a little bit about this classic truck right here on the side. Taking a quick look at the back of the box here, we see some of the option parts they have available for it. Some carbon fiber pieces, a center spool that you can get. So yeah, this is the Apex2 series of their lineup, and there are some other options of cars that you can get in this as well. Let's go ahead and get it out of the box for you guys. Looks like, yeah, a couple other little component pieces. This is the stickers for all of the little panels that we'll see. And voila. The body clips are already off. I'd already opened this to show it on a live stream, and I'm gonna guess that I left the body clips on my desk. Everything is taken out of the packaging now. You can see where the body posts are. The body, it does have molded little rear view mirrors here up on the front of the hood, and it's got a molded front grille with lights. The lights actually have buckets on the back, so you can add lighting if you want to in there. And it comes with everything you need to hold the lights in. Going around the back, the rear fin is also molded, and then this is all just stickered. So they've got stickers going around for this, but I think they wanted to allow you to customize it kind of how you wanted, and so they left the ability to add. If you look up a Datsun 620 on the internet, you'll see some that have like these wheel wells that are kind of additional add-ons to widen the truck out and the stance, but some of them are the same color as the truck, and then other ones have it in the black, and so it really comes down to user preference how you want to do it. I like the idea of having it, so we're going to go for it. While we're here, we'll pull out the manual. It's going to go through all the different things for driving, talk about your batteries, how to use the radio. It's going to have all the part explosions in here, and then it's going to show you options for the hood. If you want to do two black pieces, or you want to do a center stripe, if you want to do that front air dam part here on the front, different things like that. And it's got the numbers for them so that you can put them on. So let's make our decisions and let's do this. So there's two pieces to do this. So 9 is actually going to wrap this right here. All right, you guys, so putting these on for me was very difficult, and just being completely honest about it, I would have done it differently if I wasn't trying to make the video as well. Ideally, I would have either had a heat gun with me to try and kind of stretch them out better, get rid of some of the wrinkles, folds, and make it just apply better. Or ideally, what I would probably have done was taken a little soapy water mixture and kind of just put it on the areas. Either just dip your finger in and run it across it, or spritz it on. And that allows you to be able to move the stickers around, push out any of the bubbles or the wrinkles, that kind of stuff, because it'll just kind of slide. And then once that dries, it'll be stuck in place and look perfect. So that's probably the more ideal way of doing it. But here I was really just kind of battling it, lifting it, trying to reapply it, push out the wrinkles and the air bubbles as I was going. And then use an X-Acto knife on one of them. If I had a bubble I just couldn't get, and just kind of putting a little hole in it and pushing it out that way. But not easy to just kind of install them as I'm doing here in the video. Just wanted to make sure I mentioned that, because I'm showing it without any of the processes I mentioned, and I definitely would recommend doing that in hindsight. All right, so we took the time to add the extra stickers on. Now we'll show you guys the rest of this, but first want to kind of show you what it could look like before we keep moving on, looking at the rest of it. This is what it gives you, the stickers, if you want to take the time and make it look like this. Decals around here, the sides. These ones are actually easy. It's one sticker to put them both on. Did this front piece here. Did the two. There's also one they can do down the middle. I chose not to, and I also tore it when testing it. But yeah, the overall look is pretty cool. I have a few imperfections in mine, but I'm not going to worry about it. Here is what everybody wants to see, the inside of this tub chassis. You've seen it before in some of their other vehicles. Really dig the look of these wheels that they have that kind of go with this look for the Datsun 620. But it's got A-arms up front and in the rear. Nice shocks here. They do feel like they're oil-filled shocks. Nice dampening to them. It does have just plastic arms here for your steering. There's no kind of adjustability here for setting your toe and all of that. It doesn't look like. So camber and all that is pretty locked in. You can see the little discs in here that we showed in the picture. You see a little red just kind of shining through that wheel there, front and rear. ESC. Here is a brushed ESC, and it's set out of the box to LiPo. If you have a NIM, you just slide this over. Just something to note, we're going to be running it on a 2S LiPo. So it does have this strap here, hook and loop they call it, but it also can be set up to run a, if you remove this, you can do a shorty pack that'll fit in here. But currently the way that it's set up, it looks like we'll probably be setting our pack on its side to fit in, keep everything nice and narrow in the car. So we're just running a Ace bashing battery right here. All right, so we have our battery pack now installed in there, running it upright like that. It's a 2S. Again, this is just a Ace bashing battery I have that has a T-style connector on it, which is what this runs. In the middle, you do have a metal drive shaft. You also have metal drive shafts in the front and the rear of this vehicle. And there's some available pieces you can get too. They do have basically like an anti-roll bar or a sway bar kit that you can get for these that I saw listed, and so that looks like it's an option that you could use. I don't really foresee needing one in this type of a vehicle, and for what we'll be running it for, just kind of drifting around in parking lots and stuff like that. But overall, looks pretty good. Got the servo tucked up underneath here. Plastic arm on this with a, it does have a servo saver on it. It is a 550 Reedy motor in here, 15 turn, 3-slot. Should give it some good speed for a car like this. So 15 turn, 550 on 2S is pretty quick, especially geared up, and we'll see. It does have an aluminum motor plate, I should mention, that this is tucked into, and it has metal gears in the diffs as well. So now I think we're ready to look at the radio and then get this thing out there and bash it for you guys. Comes with a bind plug and the radio itself here. So steering trim and throttle trim, dual rates for both set here, reverses for your steering and your throttle, on-off switch, rubberized grip right here, and your trigger. And so they get the job done, that's for sure. But again, for me, it's kind of a stretch. I wish this was tucked in right where this is here instead of having all this extra part out. That wheel was right here where this is. It'd be perfect for me, but not everybody needs to one-handed drive. I always have to remember that. Just makes it a little difficult for those of us that love to film our cars, whether for YouTube or Instagram or just to watch them run. I just love playing back the video and seeing them running. So you do get the directions with that. There's a whole bunch of parts in here, other servo arms. If you change out your servos, more rod ends. You've got the spacers for your shocks, for your preload clips. Looks good. Let's get it out and rip it. Running this for the first time. It's super windy though. Well, I didn't go very long where I was narrating it because I knew that it was for no good reason, because even though I had a nice microphone system on wireless and lapel and all that, the wind was just so crazy strong that there was no way that it was going to be usable, even with my back to the wind. I did some tests and listened to it play back, and so I just kind of gave up on it and just decided to drive the car anyway because I wanted to give it a try and see what it would do, whether or not I could get audio. And it is on rails. I'll say that the tires hook up really good. It's tough to make it do that where you break the back end around. It just kind of wants to make the corner, and that's pretty awesome. Now, I did find some spots where it's a little dirtier and it would let it break free, and we'll do some donuts later. But I quickly realized I wanted to be doing some jumping. I like kind of rally and I like off-road stuff, and so these curves were nice kind of gentle approaches, and they seem perfect for jumping this awesome Datsun 620. So here you can see I took it off-road as well. It would have to be very low because there's not a lot of ground clearance for this vehicle, but this was a perfect little area right off of the nice cement where people would cut through, and a little bit rocky, but I didn't mess up my steering at all. Even getting rocks inside the chassis, the steering held up great. Never once had it even bind at all. So very, very impressed with how it handled both on-road and in this kind of off-road. A little bit bouncy, but it's a smaller light truck, and it did pretty good. It was really fun to drift, get it in some sand and let it just go, because it just handles so well. That's the thing about it. Really fun truck. I think if you're going to run it on cement, you'll want to set up a course, something to kind of give you purpose for driving, because while it's quick, it's not fast. So like prolonged just running in a parking lot with no reason to be driving would kind of get boring. But very, very cool offering from Team Associated, and had a blast driving this thing.